All right, so this part, we are going to work on this part of the duck and the lower part. So we'll use ultramarine violet, white, and raw umber. So for now, let's start with the raw umber and ultramarine violet for this part. It's very dark, so you're not going to see exactly the color. But if you're using these colors, should be okay. I'm just going to use the corner of my brush. Try not to make it bigger. Keep the shape, because I find sometimes painting this, sometimes I push the color in the wrong place and it changes the shape completely. So this is what I'm trying to do. The edge at the bottom where the color changes from dark to light or from one color to another, keep the edges soft. So first layer, I think it's gonna be an easy thing to do, to go dark. So I'm gonna do it in layers, not right away. So now this not heavy. So now this is gonna be, I'm gonna switch it around, and I'm gonna push this color in with the round brush. So just with this brush, I'm going to be kind of getting a soft edge. Soft, nice soft edge. Now I'm going to take ultramarine violet. Hi, Putini.
Hi, how are you guys?
Good. Putini, we're using ultramarine violet, white, and
Yes.
umber. I'm not sure if you're going to be painting with us.
I don't have this project, but I like to watch it.
Okay then.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. So now I'm adding a little bit more of the ultramarine violet and white in here with the raw umber, but less of the raw umber. So this is like a soft part here, dark but soft. Okay, I'm gonna go again, a little bit more white and ultramarine violet. Right there, that's really good there. Trying to keep make it more like a fur when I transition from one part to another, so I don't have sharp edge. Okay. And just a little bit here. At the same time, trying to keep an eye on the shape I'm painting. Okay, this is good. This is good. So, 'cause, I, 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 'cause let it dry a bit. We're going to go over this one more time and highlight this part with burnt umber. Meanwhile, let's go down a bit here. This dries darker. It's acrylics and it dries darker. So we have to keep on adjusting the light and dark. And all right. Keep on adjusting all of the values. Okay. I'm going to pause for a minute. Okay, so now we're going to do the bottom part of the duck right here and the tail. So we'll go slowly with this white and ultramarine violet. And I'm going to put a touch of small amount of raw umber in there because, you know, the fur is not 100% white, right? So it does have a bit of the brown in it. And we're just going to go for the first layer with the corner of my brush. I'm going to dry darker, and we'll see when it dries darker if we need to go in and adjust any of the values. I think it needs a little bit more. That's a little bit too light. So I'm going to get in there some brown, very small amount, slowly. Yeah, that's good. That is good. And just go with some purples here and there. Make sure that to keep these areas where there's a transition of color from light to dark soft, so no hard edges. It's good. Okay, let's go, keep going. And we're going to do, okay, so I'm seeing that this value is too light. So I'm going to darken a bit because, yeah, that's better. Okay. And I can see also the bottom of this part right here is a little bit darker. Now, if you put the color and you find it turned out to be too dark, that's okay, because we can go over with highlights and, you know, highlight this part. I'm not trying to make it look like real. Just give it. I just want to give it a nice kind of different brush strokes that represents the fur. Good. It's not going to be a realistic. It's just a transfer of different brush strokes and colors, and from light to dark. And okay, now let's take some more white It's drying darker, which is good. And I'm going to take a round brush. And let's come here. And give it a nice tail. Now, let's take some brown. And I'm going to put a bit of purple in this brown, ultramarine violet. Change my brush, round, small brush. And now brown. So I did add a bit of white to this one, this part, but now I'm not adding any white. I'm just putting brown and ultramarine violet. Okay. I find, of course, I find, I find acrylics a bit harsh for something like that. So we have to keep on, we wait for it to dry and then we go back and adjust the edges and soften the harshness. All right, that's very good. All right, I'm gonna just highlight this part a bit. So this is blue, blue, and in between there is a nice soft brown. I'm using the same colors. I'm adding a tiny bit of changing the value from light to dark or from dark to light, and mixing ultramarine violet with the white and the brown. This needs to come down eventually. Okay, and another one here. Some white. I'm gonna wait for it to dry and then I'll adjust. So I'm trying to keep the edges soft. I'm gonna take some pure white, not pure, but pull some white out and then put some here. And on this part. It's good. Now this part is dry, so I can go in with a bit of, do you want me to stop for a minute? So you can finish this part before I go into this?
I'm good.
Yes, okay.
No, I'm good to keep
You're
going.
good? Okay.
I don't know, Maria, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. She's good. Okay. So I'm gonna take a bit of burnt sienna.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, burnt sienna. I'm gonna mix my burnt sienna with the raw umber right here. To give it a bit of red, a reddish color. It's brown, but it has a bit of red, and at least that's what I'm seeing, and ultramarine violet. Okay, so let's go here. Very hard to see. That's nice. Okay, stay quiet, mix it in. And I'm gonna wash my brush, pick up some raw umber. I'm going to put a bit of that burnt sienna in my raw umber. I'm going to come here. Oh, clean my brush. Come here and just go over this part a bit. It just gives that a hint of red in here. Okay. I'm just going to pause a bit so I can figure out the blue that's in here and then start again. So I mixed indigo blue and phthalo blue and I put some white in it. And this is a perfect color for this part. And I'm gonna just put some blue. Wow, the blue made a big difference. Again, a little bit of darker blue. Let's go darker. Now we're gonna just take some indigo in here. If you don't have indigo, Prussian blue will do with phthalo blue. Any of these colors will be fine. Keeping my brush, my paint, a little bit wet, so especially at the edges here, so I can wisp it. That looks like fur. All right. Okay. Let's get in the tail, adjust the tail a bit. Right here. Push it in on this side. Although we're trying not to go into too much detail, but we really have to sometimes. Raw umber, ultramarine violet, and I'm going to work on that little start here. Quite a bit, because this is really like very soft, dark color. Although it's dark, I just don't want it to look harsh. So I'm putting the color, and while it's wet, I'm trying to add a little bit of white in there and mix the white in it. Okay, let's go there. Keep my brush wet, otherwise I'm going to get edges that are not consistent. Introduce white now and get that soft transition on over here. So because I have both colors wet, I'm able to blend, you know, a nice soft blending in here. Also, my paint is kind of a bit wet, so that helps too. Add a little bit more white now and introduce it right here. let's put some soft brown in here, which is a mixture again of raw umber, ultramarine violet, and white. And I need this to dry before I put a bit of detail on top. Go back to blue. Same mixture, raw umber, ultramarine violet, and white. So add a bit of white in here. We're getting there. I'm going to take a break. All right, so I'm going to take brown mixed with ultramarine violet and white. And let's start by doing this part. Oh, that's too dark. Okay, this is my first layer. I'm not too worried about this part too much right there because it's going to have some feathers over, but I do want this part to be kind of soft. And I'm going to come here and do the same. So I'm going to pick up some white and come back here. Actually, go darker. Again, a little bit darker. Now, I'm going to pick up quite a bit of white, mix it, come here. And in a minute, I'm going to change my brush. While I'm doing this, I'm just going to continue. And then I'll refine. I'll do some detailing. So for now, I'm just going to put colors. Take a bit of white with ultramarine violet. And my white. Come here. Again, some brown. I'm not cleaning my brush. I'm just layering my colors one layer after another. Again, white, more white. Problem with acrylics, it dries so fast. By the time you figure out what you're doing, the paint is dry. It's drying really, really harsh. So let's go back. So delicate. The layers are so delicate.
Yeah.
So now I pushed the white in a bit. I'm going to go with the brown and push it out. Soften this brown now with some white and purple. I'm adding more white. I'll come here and now just kind of open up the space in between. So between that, the fur I was putting in there. Try to give it some shape. I have to glaze this because that's the only way. Glaze the soften all this with glazing because that's harsh right now. That all of this fur needs to be soft, you know, layers of glazing, of softness. But no matter what I do, it's not going to be, this is acrylics. I'll try to glaze it later on when it's dry. Glaze this part, the dark, the brown. I'm going to let it dry and see what happens. And meanwhile, I'm going to come here and try to add this part. So I'm going to mix same white, brown. You take a touch, a very small amount of burnt sienna as well. A hint of that movement of the fur. This would be nicer if it's glazed. Maybe. Maybe. Right. Come on. Come on. Yeah. Trying to get some detail in there. Just like it needs to be watered down so I don't get harsh edges from the canvas. Right, pick up some white, kind of white. Next week, we'll work on the bottom part of the this part. And we'll see how we're going to do all this transparency.